From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday recognized the achievements of government communicators for their role in enhancing public awareness and citizen engagement in governance. Speaking at the inaugural Parangal Gawad ng Kahusayan sa Komunikasyong Pampubliko, the President emphasized that effective communication fosters trust between the government and the people. President Marcos said that while these awards honor their achievements, they also set the standards for leadership that promote public awareness and empower civic participation. The Parangal program, launched by the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, recognizes outstanding communication campaigns and strategies by government agencies and local government units. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Tonight we come together to recognize achievements and to confront a fundamental truth that communication is one of the foundations of leadership. It is the force that builds nations, that inspires movements, and turns ideas into reality. Every spoken word carries with it the power to unite or to divide, to heal or to harm, to lead or mislead. Alongside collaboration, integrity, and accountability, effective communication forges trust between the government and its citizens. Without it, leadership will falter, policies will be forgotten, and the people, our people, are left searching for direction. The campaigns, the messages, and the voices we celebrate this evening remind us what leadership is capable of when there is a connection with the people. While these awards recognize your achievements, they are also declarations of leadership standards that enhance public awareness and empower participation in governance. The Public Service Campaign Award recognizes local government units and agencies, departments, instrumentalities of the national government with the most effective campaigns that bridge the divide between what government plans are and what people in fact experience. They ensure that government efforts do not remain confined to policy briefs that are only spoken about in private offices, but moved into the neighborhoods, promoting positive behavioral change in our communities, in our people. The Government Innovation Award is a tribute to those who refuse to accept outdated systems and practices. These innovators remind us that leadership requires boldness, the willingness to break with tradition, to adapt to new realities and build future-ready solutions. Meanwhile, the Information Integrity Award celebrates defiance in the face of what is a new phenomenon of misinformation. Falsehoods are corrosive and erode trust. They destabilize governance and divide societies. Nowadays, disinformation is not just a threat. It is a weapon that is used to distort facts, to sow fear, to weaken democracy. However, the awardees we honor tonight stood firm and proved that integrity is the unshakable foundation of public trust. Fake news, disinformation, and misinformation are active forces that proliferate division and ignorance. They thrive in the shadows of social media, spreading lies faster than facts, turning public discourse into a battleground of confusion, manipulation, and eventually chaos. In the face of this, silence is also complicity. Leadership, therefore, must stand firm, defending truth with vigilance, exposing lies with resolve, and ensuring that the public is armed with the clarity that they have in a sea of confusion. Then there is the digital frontier, the battleground of our age. The Outstanding Digital Campaign Award demonstrates that governance must adapt to the digital realm, and not only adapt, but must lead it. Because these campaigns transform screens into platforms of empowerment. They amplify voices. We engage communities, remind us that technology is not a threat to governments, but its greatest ally when wielded with proper purpose. Finally, the Outstanding Public Communicator Award celebrates those who have courageously led through words and deeds. Their words connect the government and the government, forging a bond that endures even in the most challenging of times. Every award tonight tells a story of transformation. These campaigns and voices are proof that communication is the force that makes governance real. To our awardees and participants, your work has transformed abstract ideas into meaningful, understandable action, making governance a shared experience rather than some distant ideal discussed in the high levels of government. To my fellow leaders, tonight is a call to action. Governance cannot rely on the weight solely of its authority. It must earn its place in the lives of the people that we serve. Leadership must be rooted in connection so that our vision will inspire, our action resonate, our legacy will last. To our partners in media, civil society, and the private sector, thank you for being the stewards of democracy and the champions of accountability. Your work does more than report. It shapes the national narrative, challenges complacency, and demands better from those holding public office. At sa sambayan ng Pilipino, kayo po ang pinakamahalagang puwersa na nagtutulak sa pagsulong ng ating bansa. Ang tiwalang ipinagkaloob ninyo at nagbigay ng inspirasyon sa amin upang maglingkod sa inyo ng may dangal at katapatan. Asahan po ninyo na patuloy kami sa paghahatid ng serbisyong epektibo, may integridad at may pananagutan. This is the challenge we must all embrace. Leaders that fail to connect will fail to endure. Policies mean nothing if they are not understood. True leadership builds trust not through words alone, but through the clarity and conviction that make these words matter. Today, we honor the recipients. Tomorrow, we will achieve the bagong Pilipinas we aspire for. This is our commitment. This is our resolve. This is our future. Congratulations to all the awardees and organizations and organizers. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Maligayang Pasko at mapayapang bagong taon sa inyong lahat.
You just heard Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos on Monday held a Thanksgiving event in honor of their supporters titled Pasasalamat mula sa Pangulo, Pasko ng Tiwala at Suporta at the Kalayaan Grounds in Malacañang. The year-end event brings together various groups to celebrate the enduring trust and support of the Filipino people for the President, focused on uniting diverse stakeholders to achieve the collective vision of Bagong Pilipinas or New Philippines for the nation. In his short remarks, the Chief Executive expressed his sincerest gratitude to all his supporters for their important contributions to realizing the government's collective vision of progress for the country. Let us listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. during the event.
Merry Christmas sa inyo lahat at nagpapasalamat ako na nakarating kayo sa ating konting celebration, konting pagpakilala at matagal na tayong hindi nagsama-sama na buo-buo lahat tayo. At siyempre dahil nung nakaraan, very intense yung ating mga ginagawa. Kaya marami tayong trabaho. Siguro, ngayon, iba. Hindi na pareho, hindi na kampanya, hindi na eleksyon. Kaya nagbabago talaga yan. Kaya ipinilit namin na kahit papano na makipagkita sa inyo para naman makapagpasalamat kami sa inyong tuloy-tuloy na pagsuporta sa amin, Pamilya Marcos, sa administrasyon ko at sa lahat ng ating mga ginagawa para tulungan ang taong bayan. Yan po lahat ang ating yan lang naman ang ating layunin na makatulong at kaya naman tayo nagkaisa, kaya naman tayo ay nagsama-sama dahil pareho ang lahat ng ating mga pinag-iisip kung paano pagandahin ng Pilipinas, kung paano pagandahin ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Yan ang ating isinigaw noong kampanya. Yan ang ating lagi hanggang ngayon na naghahanap ng mga bagong pamamaraan. Kaya naging matibay ang ating pinagsamahan. Dahil hindi lamang dahil tayo magkakaibigan, kung hindi tayo ay sama-samang may isang paniniwala. At yan yung nagkakaisa at sa pagkakaisa na yan ay pagagandahin natin ang Pilipinas, pagagandahin natin ang buhay at ang mga pag-asa at mga na kinabukasan ng ating mga minamahal na kababayan. Kaya kahit ngayon ang ating ginagawa, nandito na po tayo sa Malacañang at kailangan nga talaga dapat mapadalas kayo mapunta rito dahil kasi malaki ang pananagutan ninyo. Kayo naglagay sa akin dito. Kailangan nandito kayo para tulungan ninyo ako. Mahirap-hirap itong trabaho. Nararamdaman ko naman kayo kahit di tayo masyadong nagkikita. Nararamdaman ko naman kayo at nakikita ko naman yung inyong ginagawa na patuloy ang pinaglalaban, ang ikabubuti ng ating bansa, pinaglalaban ang katotohanan, pinaglalaban ang katarungan. Yan naman talaga ang ating yan naman talaga ang mahalaga sa ating lahat. Kaya natutuwa ako na kahit papano nakahanap tayo ng kaunting panahon para magsama-sama at magpapa-selfie naman. Katakot-takot na selfie siguro mama. Di ba? Buti na lang nagpa-makeup ako ng makapal bago ako napunta rito. Anyway, andito rin si Lisa at sabi niya, sabi niya, hindi naman daw kayo nakikita. Kung hindi nga dun sa social media, kung hindi naman sa mga iba't ibang media, sabi niya, dapat sumama siya. Namilit siyang sumama para sabi niya, makita ko naman, makilala ko naman itong tumutulong sa atin. Kaya nandito si First Lady Lisa Renata Marcos. Anyway, yun lang. Ako kagaya ng sabi ko, ito naman, parang salo-salo lamang para konting selebrasyon dahil Pasko na. Nakita niyo naman itong palasyo. Naka-ready na ito para sa mga kabataan. Pag simbang gabi, binubuksan namin ang palasyo. pagsimbang gabi na, bago pumunta ang tao sa simbahan, ng madaling araw, dito muna sila. At papakain tayo ng konti, may konting laruan para sa mga bata, para naman may maramdaman ng Pasko. Kaya pagka nandito kayo, bumisita kayo. At open house naman ang palasyo. Bumisita kayo para makita naman ninyo kung ano yung ating mga handa para sa ating mga kaibigan at yung mga nakakadalo dito sa palasyo. At very happy again. I'm very happy to be able to see. Yung iba sa inyo, tagal ko nang hindi nakita. Ako lang yung tumanda sa atin eh. Kayo hindi kayo tumatanda, ako lang yung tumanda eh. Laging may sipon, laging may karamdaman. Pero kayo mga healthy, lalakas ng mga katawan ninyo. Mabuti na lang at nandiyan kayo para ako pagka medyo hapong-hapuna, nandiyan naman kayo para kayo ang papatuloy ng ating mga ginagawa. Kaya anyway, I would like to thank you all very much. Maraming salamat sa inyong tulong na ibinigay sa atin, ang tulong na ibinibigay ninyo sa administrasyon, ang tulong na ginagawa ninyo para sa taong bayan. At siyempre, sa pamilya namin, hindi namin masusuklian ang inyong pagmamahal at ang inyong suporta na ibinibigay sa amin. Sa matagal na, hindi mula pa, bago pa kami tumuntong dito sa palasyo, ay nandiyan na kayong lahat. Kaya mahaba-haba na itong pinagsamahan natin. At mabuti naman. At ako'y lumalakas ang loob ko dahil nakikita ko na marami tayong magkasama, marami tayong parehong paniniwala, marami tayong matatapang na nagsasalita at nagsusuporta at sumisigaw para sa kabutihan ng ating Pilipinas. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. Merry Christmas! Happy New Year!
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Meanwhile, the celebration is part of the annual tradition in Malacañang known as Tara sa Palasyo. The palace grounds are once again open to the public from the 16th to the 23rd of December from 6 to 10 in the evening for various Christmas festivities, including live music, food, and carnival rides. Malacañang said visitors can attend the traditional Simbang Gabi or Misa de Gallo, which will be held daily from 4 to 5 in the morning, starting Monday until the 24th of December. For those visiting later in the morning, the palace is offering a delectable selection of native Christmas treats such as kakanin or rice cakes and hot chocolate, available from 5 to 6 in the morning. Tara sa Palasyo has been an annual Christmas event since President Marcos took office in 2022 and is part of an ongoing effort by the administration to make the historic seat of power more accessible to the public while simultaneously celebrating Filipino culture and tradition. Earlier this month, President Marcos Jr. kicked off the Christmas festivities at the Malacañang with the traditional lighting of the Christmas tree. The president also led a gift-giving event for thousands of children at the Kalayaan grounds.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday said he would find a way to restore the 10 billion pesos that was cut from the Department of Education or DepEd for 2025, as slashing the allocation for education is contrary to the administration's policy. In a media interview, the president said the Office of the President or OP is still reviewing the DepEd budget. According to the president, the bulk of the cut was taken from the DepEd's computerization program.
I think it is contrary to all our policy directions. When we talk about the STEM development of our educational sector, and then the continuing development, because yung nawala na 10 billion comes from the computerization item. So we're working on it to make sure that we will restore it.
Last week, the Bicameral Conference Committee approved the 6.352 trillion peso 2025 General Appropriations Bill. Education Secretary Sani Angara expressed optimism that the President would address DepEd's budget cut.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday vowed to thoroughly go over the 2025 national budget amid issues surrounding some of its items, even as he justified the zero subsidy for the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, for next year. Speaking to members of the media in Malacañang, the President said the Office of the President, or OP, is still reviewing the detailed version of the General Appropriations Bill, or GAB, especially those that have been described as worrisome elements of the spending plan. President Marcos, however, clarified that he has not reached the point where he needs to use his veto power to strike down questionable parts of the budget. Despite this, the chief executive said he would make sure that the budget bill would be signed before Christmas, as earlier announced by the palace. President Marcos, meanwhile, justified the zero subsidy for PhilHealth next year, citing the state insurer's ample reserve funds. According to the President, the state insurer has no budgetary issues owing to its estimated reserve of 500 billion pesos. PhilHealth is responsible for providing health insurance and implementing universal health care coverage nationwide.
The reason that we do not want to subsidize it is because it is the subsidy will hook lang doon sa bank account ng PhilHealth. Hindi magagamit. Marami tayong paggagamitan noon. So that's a simple explanation there. Is that they have sufficient funds to carry on sa dami ng bagong services ng PhilHealth. Sa dami ng mga bagong payment na binibigay ng PhilHealth, nababara ang sistema. You can see there are in the provinces, merong mga tao nag-aantay buong araw, yung pilat 200 tao. Nag-aantay, magke-claim sila. Hindi naman mahirap. Pero that's what's happened in PhilHealth. Yun ang problema sa PhilHealth. The problem is the processing capacity.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. denied on Monday he has been conducting a loyalty check among members of the military and police. The President made the remarks amid claims by some quarters that the command conferences he is holding with uniformed men are meant to ensure their fidelity to his administration. Last week, President Marcos convened the National Peace and Order Council, or NPOC, which is composed of the country's top security officials in Camp Crame. The discussions centered on the upcoming 2025 midterm elections, the regional and national peace and order situation, and campaign against Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs, among others. Present in the meeting were Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla, Philippine National Police, or PNP Chief General Romel Francisco Marbil, and Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr. When asked about the state of the nation as the year 2024 is about to end, the Chief Executive said the Philippines is quite stable, despite a lot of noise.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, Mary Jane Veloso, an overseas Filipino worker or OFW who has been in death row in Indonesia since 2010, is confirmed to be flying home after a successful negotiation between Jakarta and Manila. In a statement Monday evening, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin said, "With much appreciation and gratefulness to the Republic of Indonesia, the palace confirms the imminent return of our kababayan Mary Jane Veloso." The palace official noted that Veloso's homecoming is the fruit of more than a decade of persistent discussions, consultations, and diplomacy. Malacañang, however, did not disclose when Veloso would return to Manila. Veloso was arrested and sentenced to death in 2010 after the suitcase she was carrying was found to be lined with 2.6 kilograms of heroin. She was given a last-minute reprieve in April of 2015 when the Philippine government informed Indonesia that her recruiters had surrendered. Last month, the government revealed that talks are ongoing for Veloso's possible repatriation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, overseas Filipino worker or OFW party list representative Marisa Delmar Magsino on Monday filed a resolution asking President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to grant a presidential pardon to Mary Jane Veloso, who is set to return to the Philippines after she was convicted of drug trafficking in Indonesia in 2010. Magsino emphasized the need for government intervention to address the exploitation and injustices being encountered by some of the OFWs. The lawmaker said Veloso's return, which comes after years of advocacy by her family and human rights groups, was made possible by the adoption of the Indonesian government of its new policy, allowing the transfer of custody over foreign prisoners to their countries of nationality. Under her House Resolution number 2139, Magsino said that throughout Veloso's trial, she maintained her innocence, claiming that she was duped into carrying the suitcase of Maria Cristina Sergio, her godsister and recruiter, who convinced her to go to Indonesia after losing a job in Malaysia. She also called for the government to strengthen anti-trafficking laws and enhance support mechanisms for migrant workers. Magsino said their OFW party list would continue to push for measures to safeguard the welfare and rights of Filipino workers abroad. She thanked President Marcos and other officials for facilitating Veloso's return.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine senators on Monday unanimously approved Senate Resolution number 1248, which concurs to the ratification of the Reciprocal Access Agreement or RAA between the Philippines and Japan. The measure is expected to strengthen the cooperation between the Armed Forces of the Philippines or AFP and the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force or JMSDF. Senator Juan Miguel Zubiri in his manifestation said he expects the RAA to deepen ties between the Philippines and Japan in ensuring peace and security in the Asia-Pacific region. For Senator Joel Villanueva, the Senate's concurrence to the ratification of the RAA further solidifies the two nations' commitment to promote regional and global peace and stability. Meanwhile, Senator Lauren Legarda explained that her affirmative vote is equivalent to her trust for the RAA, which is crucial in strengthening the country's security and reinforces its regional partnerships. The Philippines-Japan RAA, which was signed on July 8, 2024 in Manila, outlines the provisions on entry and departure, movement, access to facilities, and professional practice of the visiting force and civilian component for the purpose of cooperative activities, as well as the rules governing the jurisdiction over the actions of the visiting force and civilian component. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ratified the agreement on November 5, 2024, and has submitted it to the Senate for concurrence in accordance with the Philippine Constitution.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 9.475 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.820 MHz. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.